Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
General Hospital spoilers say that if there's one person who would get the job done, it would be Willow Tate. That's because there's a lot of enterprise suggesting that Willow, who has taken quite the walk on the wild side, could fluently get relief of Chase if she wanted to. Is Willow going to murder Chase? A lot of observers have agreed that relatives kissing isn't the kind of threat anyone is asking for on the cleaner. Chase chancing out too important and being excluded by his partner who he's still obsessed with would surely be a moment that no bone saw coming, right? Not only that, but a lot of people suppose that Willow needs to hide the body and a locked-in Drew needs to witness everything and see Brooklyn agonizing about her missing hubby, so to speak. Of course, the internet clearly did have a lot to say about the matter. Some indeed reflected with, Willow is getting the new Heather Weber. I could see her killing Chase, Trina, and Kai. She might indeed kill Dante. What's next for Willow? Also, I'd prefer if Willow could get help but also keep her edge. The show has long demanded proper furies. Troublemakers who also aren't absolutely deranged manslayers. Another addict of the show wrote, Chase is so boring and is like watching oatmeal harden. I would love Willow to take him out or incapacitate him like Drew. And also there was this comment as well. I suppose Willow is still reparable right now because of her history with Dawn of Day and the fact that Drew did do a lot of manipulative, controlling effects to her. But if she kills Chase or Kai, people who are innocent in this, I don't see how she can come back from that easily. GH suckers will simply have to tune in each and every day to find out what will be next. General Hospital airs weekdays on the ABC network. Check your original rosters for times. Watch this space as we've a feeling there's so much further to come. In the meantime, let us know what you suppose by leaving us a line with your studies below. General Hospital recap for Thursday, February 12th, reveals that Maxie Jones' awakening stunned James West, Georgie Spinelli, and Felicia Scorpio while Curtis Ashford got some maternity evidence. At GH, Portia Robinson verified that Trina Robinson had the same father as her youngish stock, so Curtis looked at the maternity results himself and was enraptured to be the biopater. Isaiah Gannon was visibly disappointed and excused himself, so it wasn't long until he tried to wash down all his pain in the locker room shower. Curtis and Portia spoke alone about finishing their divorce and agreed to common guardianship of the baby. Portia caught up with Isaiah soon after and got his consolation that he was still in on their relationship, indeed if he was bummed about not being the father. As for Curtis and Jordan Ashford, Portia felt confident that reunion would bomb since no one could live up to Curtis' insolvable norms. At Lulu Spencer's place, she helped Nathan West deal with a treat exigency since he'd promised to deliver delicacies for James' class. That led to Lulu and Nathan addressing their romantic passions again, so they admitted they'd opened up to Laura Collins and Nina Reeves. Nathan and Lulu sounded ready to follow their hearts as they touched facades in a warm moment. At Maxie's installation, James put up some Valentine's Day decorations and showed cards to his slow mama. Georgie painted Maxie's nails before James, Georgie, and Felicia all took turns speaking with Maxie alone. James was contending for an ice-groaning stop as they prepared to leave laterally when Maxie called out James Malcolm West from the doorway. Maxie advised that James wouldn't be groaning without a helmet, so James, Georgie, and Felicia were enraptured to see her awake. At the Quartermain manse, Harrison Chase was in his command livery since it was his first day back on the job. Chase had tea with Bailey Lou Jones since they were watching her more while Maxie was down. Chase and Brooklyn Quartermain allowed. Back to the time they spent raising Bailey Lou, which is when they were first falling in love. Although Chase couldn't stay to have a child with Brooklyn, he assured her that he was obliging her about the relinquishment. Once Chase left, Giovanni Gio Palmieri joked around with Bailey Lou and opened up to Brooklyn about the situation with Emma Scorpio Drake. Gio bothered Emma might move back to San Francisco following all this Anna Devane drama, but Brooklyn didn't suppose there was any reason to worry about that. At the PCPD, Dante Falconeri gave Jordan updates on Anna's psychotic break and his query about continuing in the police commission part. Jordan offered a Vim talk and suggested Dante should make the position his own. Dante latterly spoke with Chase before his command shift, just to make sure Chase could accept orders from him and that he would end overreach in Michael Corinthos' case. Back with Curtis, he gave Jordan the news that the baby was his and that Portia had formally agreed to common guardianship. Despite the messy situation, Curtis and Portia still wanted a romantic relationship. Although Trina was happy for Curtis, she was still floundering to reuse all the changes and opened up to Ava Jerome. Ava reflected on her own experience with cutting Kiki Jerome out of her life and rued it formerly Kiki was gone ever. Ava gave Trina a punch to accept that Portia was a mortal being who made miscalculations and give her mama the occasion to show she'd learned from them. General Hospital spoilers say Trina and Portia will try to rebuild their bond over time, so stay tuned. General Hospital spoilers say that a lot of people can't help but read between the lines then. That's because there's a new report that says General Hospital star Steve Burton, who's stylish known for his part as Jason Morgan on the hit ABC Cleaner, might be choosing his marriage to Michelle Lundberg over The Cleaner. Steve Burton choosing his marriage over the soap. The actor just participated in a new statement in which he said that he'll be taking a short break from the hit ABC soap. However, he also stated his marriage to Michelle as a reason, if that weren't enough. Steve took to his Instagram account to write, "Hey everyone, I wanted to partake that I'll be taking a short break from General Hospital. I'm recently married and looking forward to spending some quality time with my family. I'm thankful for all the support and will be back this summer." And while no bone really knows what's going on, the internet sure did have a lot to say about the matter. Some indeed reflected with, "I'm fairly new to GH and was always under the print he was a crucial cast member. Unexpectedly, he's infrequently on and doesn't have important of a plot at all." Another critic of the show wrote, "Then we go again, he's coming, he's incoming, he's going etc. What's next for Steve Burton?" Observers had to go through that messy plot to bring Britt back from the dead and he's taking a long break in the middle of a plot. Do what other people do and your co-stars. Take 2-3 weeks of holiday. Time man but a many months? And also there was this comment as well, "I guess when you live 3,000 long hauls from where you work, you're separated from your family a lot. Also, is Enter back on The Cleaner for 5 times and also I'm retiring, coming over soon?" So far Steve himself has not made any fresh commentary about the matter, although at this point it's doubtful that anything will be said. General Hospital airs weekdays on the ABC network. Check your original rosters for times. Watch this space as we've a feeling there's so much further to come. In the meantime, let us know what you suppose by leaving us a line with your studies below. Whispers are spreading through Port Charles like holy water flicked across a restless congregation, and as the tension rises, it feels as though a baptism of fire is about to begin on General Hospital. At the center of the storm stands Willow Tate, a woman once defined by gentleness and quiet strength, now walking a far darker and more unpredictable path. The transformation has been gradual but undeniable. Where she was once guided by hope and healing, there is now a sharp edge to her decisions, a flicker in her eyes that suggests she is capable of far more than anyone ever imagined. And if the rumors circling the docks are even partially true, that edge could soon cut someone very close to her. Speculation has intensified around the possibility that Harrison Chase could become collateral damage in Willow's increasingly complicated world. The mere idea sounds outrageous at first. After all, Chase has long been portrayed as loyal, earnest, and devoted. Yet soaps thrive on the unthinkable. Viewers have begun to question whether Chase's tendency to dig too deeply, to ask too many questions, might put him squarely in Willow's crosshairs. If he uncovers secrets she is desperate to protect, would she silence him? It is a chilling question, one that feels almost sacrilegious given their shared history. The debate among fans has been fierce. Many argue that the show has already crossed uncomfortable boundaries with certain romantic entanglements, and the idea of pushing even further into morally murky territory feels risky. But others counter that risk is exactly what the canvas needs. They see in Willow the potential for a bold new vixen, someone who disrupts the status quo without descending into cartoonish villainy. There is a hunger for complexity, for a woman who can be both wounded and dangerous, compassionate yet capable of ruthless self-preservation. Some viewers have gone as far as comparing Willow's trajectory to that of the notorious Heather Weber, a name that still sends shivers through longtime fans. The comparison is dramatic, perhaps exaggerated, but it underscores how dramatically Willow's image has shifted. Could she truly follow such a dark path? Would she eliminate not just Chase but others who stand in her way, Trina, Kai, even Dante? The speculation feels almost like prophecy whispered in the shadows of the hospital corridors. Yet amid the angry threats and wild theories, there are encouraging voices as well. Many fans insist that Willow remains redeemable. They point to her traumatic involvement with Dawn of Day, to the manipulative influence Drew once wielded over her life, to the emotional scars that still shape her choices. They argue that while she may be acting out of desperation or fear, she has not crossed the ultimate line. If she were to harm an innocent person, they admit, redemption would become nearly impossible. But until that point, they hold out hope that she can step back from the brink. The conversation reflects a deeper tension within the show itself. How far can a character fall before the audience withdraws its empathy? Soaps are built on moral elasticity, on the belief that even the most flawed individuals can find their way back to the light. But murder is a line that, once crossed, stains permanently. If Willow were to silence Chase to protect her secrets, it would mark a point of no return, a baptism not of renewal, but of blood. Meanwhile, life in Port Charles continues to churn with its own upheavals. On February 12th, viewers witnessed emotional revelations that felt transformative in their own right. At the hospital, Curtis Ashford finally received confirmation that the baby in question was biologically his. The relief on his face was unmistakable, a mixture of vindication and joy. For Curtis, it was a moment of profound affirmation, a new beginning forged through uncertainty and doubt. Portia Robinson, standing beside him, confirmed the results and moved forward with practical resolve. Though their marriage had fractured, they agreed to joint custody, choosing cooperation over bitterness. It was a mature, measured decision, one that felt like a small miracle in a town so often fueled by vengeance. Even as divorce papers loomed, there was an undercurrent of respect between them, an acknowledgement that love can evolve rather than simply explode. Isaiah Gannon, however, was left reeling. His disappointment was visible, raw, and deeply human. Retreating to the locker room, he attempted to wash away the sting of what might have been. In that quiet moment beneath the shower spray, viewers glimpsed the fragile underbelly of hope deferred. Yet when Portia sought reassurance, Isaiah found the strength to declare he was still committed to their relationship. His resolve carried a note of encouragement, a reminder that even in loss, one can choose devotion. Elsewhere, familial bonds trembled and reformed. Trina Robinson struggled to process the cascade of revelations surrounding her family. Confiding in Ava Jerome, she received a poignant warning shaped by Ava's own regrets. Ava spoke of losing Kiki and the irreversible consequences of pushing loved ones away. Her words were not excuses but hard-earned wisdom. People are flawed, mothers included, and forgiveness can be an act of courage rather than weakness. It was an encouraging nudge toward reconciliation, a quiet baptism of grace amid chaos. Romance flickered tentatively in other corners of the city. Lulu Spencer and Nathan West found themselves once again circling their unresolved feelings. Conversations with Laura Collins and Nina Reeves had paved the way for honesty. When Lulu and Nathan touched foreheads in a shared moment of vulnerability, it felt like a promise, an acknowledgement that love, though complicated, remains worth pursuing. Their storyline offered a softer counterpoint to the darker speculation surrounding Willow. Then there was the stunning awakening of Maxie Jones. For James, Georgie, and Felicia Scorpio, her sudden return to consciousness was nothing short of miraculous. One moment they were decorating for Valentine's Day, whispering hopes into a seemingly unresponsive room, the next, Maxie's voice rang out, firm and unmistakably maternal. Her insistence that James wear a helmet while skating was both ordinary and extraordinary, a reminder that life can pivot from despair to joy in an instant. At the Quartermaine mansion, Chase prepared to return to duty, uniform pressed and resolve steady. He reflected with Brooke Lynn on the time they had spent raising Bailey Lou, memories that marked the beginning of their love story. There was tenderness in their conversation about future children, about adoption, about patience. Chase assured Brooke Lynn he would never pressure her. The exchange underscored his decency, making the idea of his potential downfall at Willow's hands all the more tragic. Giovanni Palmieri lightened the atmosphere with playful banter, though concerns about Emma Scorpio Drake lingered. Would she flee back to San Francisco amid the fallout from Anna Devane's turmoil? Brooke Lynn dismissed the worry, projecting confidence that bonds would hold. It was another example of encouragement triumphing over fear, at least for the moment. At the PCPD, Dante Falconeri wrestled with uncertainty about continuing as police commissioner. Jordan Ashford offered a steadying pep talk, urging him to define the role on his own terms. Leadership, she implied, is less about perfection and more about integrity. Dante later checked in with Chase before his patrol shift, ensuring professional boundaries would remain intact. The scene carried an undercurrent of camaraderie, of men striving to uphold order in a city perpetually teetering on the edge. And looming over everything was news about Steve Burton, the actor synonymous with Jason Morgan. His announcement that he would take a brief hiatus to focus on his marriage to Michelle Lundberg sparked intense reaction. Some fans expressed understanding, applauding his commitment to family. Others voiced frustration, weary of storyline disruptions. The debate mirrored the show's thematic tensions: loyalty versus ambition, personal fulfillment versus professional obligation. Through it all, Port Charles feels poised on the brink of transformation. The word baptism suggests cleansing, rebirth, a symbolic washing away of the past. Yet in this town, renewal often arrives through fire and confrontation rather than gentle absolution. Willow's potential descent embodies that paradox. Will she emerge purified by self-awareness, or consumed by her own secrets? Angry threats echo in fan forums and whispered conversations alike. The idea of her eliminating Chase is shocking precisely because it violates the moral framework many viewers still cling to. Yet shock has always been the lifeblood of daytime drama. The question is not merely whether Willow could commit such an act, but what it would mean for the larger tapestry of relationships that define the show. Encouragement persists, too. Characters like Curtis and Portia demonstrate that even fractured unions can find equilibrium. Ava's counsel to Trina suggests that forgiveness can interrupt cycles of resentment. Dante's determination hints that leadership can be reclaimed. These storylines form a counterbalance to the darker possibilities, reminding viewers that hope remains embedded in the narrative DNA of Port Charles. As the days unfold, audiences will continue tuning in, dissecting every glance and overheard conversation for clues. Will Willow choose restraint over retaliation? Will Chase remain blissfully unaware, or will his curiosity prove fatal? Can redemption coexist with rebellion, or must one extinguish the other? In the end, General Hospital thrives because it refuses to offer easy answers. It baptizes its characters in turmoil, tests them with temptation, and challenges viewers to wrestle with ambiguity. Whether Willow stands on the precipice of villainy or redemption, one truth is certain: Port Charles is far from finished revealing its secrets. And as always, the faithful will be watching, hearts pounding, ready for whatever storm breaks next.